Happy Friday, everybody! Back at our normal time slot, 6:30 Pacific, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center Live. This time we are live from the Sci-Fi Center itself. Tonight's show and this week's next week's shows, anywhere we do them from, is brought to you by Paramount Pictures, where you can now purchase Halo Season 1 on DVD and Blu-ray. All right, the first season of Paramount Plus series Halo, based on the Xbox game franchise, is now available on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, UHD, with every episode from season 1 and over 5 hours of special features. See Master Chief, Katana, and the other Spartans of Silver Team take on humanity's greatest threat, the Covenant. Get your DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K UHD of Halo today from Paramount Home Entertainment. I don't know how many times I've read that, and I still jam it up. Woo! Today is November 18th. Next week is Thanksgiving. So next week is Turkey Day, a bunch of football, and me just getting ready for Black Friday on several different levels. This is my favorite time of the year. Weather is better, leads into Thanksgiving, right into Christmas, and then a new year, and then we just started all over again. And then we dread July because here it's 120 degrees or whatever. So let me go ahead and say hi to the chat before we get to some of our, pretty light night. I mean, there's we're going to talk about the Spider-Verse stuff going on with Amazon. We're going to go over some of the AEW things that are going on tomorrow night for Full Gear, and a couple of other things. But for the most part, it's going to be a really tight 1 hour show, and I will be unplugging myself at 1 hour because I have to shoot a commercial for the Violent Nights of the Santa Claus movie that we're promoting. So I got people coming, so I have to go then. So we're going to go right through this quick. So hello, Aaron Pritchard. Yeah, big news on the Spider-Verse and Amazon. That's going to be one of the things. I got the article pulled up that we're going to go over. Aaron Pritchard, prior to this news, Amazon Freebie helped bring back and save Aussie TV show called Neighbors, which starred Margot Robbie and Liam Hemsworth. Now Americans will be able to see it next year. Cool. Hello, Stella. Yes, please like and subscribe. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably already subscribed to the Poindexter Lounge. Go ahead and give us a like there. And also, this one is not broadcasting on our channel right now, but anytime you want to go check out my personal content for the Sci-Fi Center, you can go to youtube.com/at the Sci-Fi Center, and all of our stuff are very small channel, but growing channel is all there for you. Hey, Dave, how you doing? Chappie, what's going on, man? All right, Bat City stuff. Hey, William, what did Batman write in Superman's yearbook? Batman Forever. Very hilarious. All right, Hunter Iggy, how are you doing? Yeah, we covered Kevin Conroy's passing last Friday, as a matter of fact, on last Sci-Fi Center Live Friday. Yeah, like I said, we've gone over and over about me, where I put Batman the animated series as far as where my regard goes for it. But my regard for Kevin Conroy and his place in Batman lore is without dispute. He was a giant in his field, not just as a voice actor. He had a 30, almost 40-year career doing all sorts of other things. He was in a soap opera I used to watch as a kid with my mom. When she dominated the TV with my sister. He was in another world. And if you look, we were going up and down his list of accomplishments and things that he's been in. I mean, from live action, voice action, acting, all the way to video game voicing. So he had a very storied career, gone too soon at 66 years old. That's just a damn shame, but that's what cancer just does to people. It just cuts life out from under them, and it really sucked. So I agree with everybody else who and their loss. Like I said, he wasn't my Batman, but I understand he meant a lot Batman-wise to a lot of people. Let me go ahead and bring in Thade. Long time no see.
Hey, man, what's up?
Not much. Tonight's going to be one of our shorter shows because I got a commercial I have to shoot like literally right after this. So we're going to cover some of the major topics of the week, and then we'll save all the extended stuff tomorrow's marathon. So we're going to go ahead and get right into one of the main things that the thing that the thumbnail is about, and that is this deal that Amazon. I'm going to bring in RJ. That Amazon has, hey, how you doing? Has struck with Sony. Wasn't expecting this, but it kind of underscores where I think the future of what Sony is doing with Spider-Man goes. I'm going to go ahead and read the article, and then we'll do a roundtable about what everybody thinks, and I'll go last. All right, so let's make sure that I just stepped that stupid YouTube, not YouTube, but I'm starting to hate StreamYard. I really am. I wish I was smart enough to use all the other ones. But
sometimes it gets very annoying. I agree.
I'm learning to use some. William, I'm gonna try to learn Restream, so we might use it in the future.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because it adds these extra steps, and I'm an oaf. All right, so and there we go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and read this. All right, Amazon orders multiple Sony shows beginning with Silk, Spider Society from Walking Dead alum Angela Kang. Angela Kang the Conqueror, any relation? All right, Amazon is officially moving forward with multiple live-action shows based on the Marvel characters controlled by Sony. Variety has learned. The first series under the deal will be Silk, Spider Society, which was developed by Walking Dead showrunner Angela Kang, along with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse producers Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Kang will serve as a showrunner and executive producer on Silk, a new multi-year overall television deal she has signed with Amazon. Kang, Lord, and Miller are all executives will produce all along with former Sony boss, my favorite, Amy Pascal. Sony Pictures Television is the studio, with Lord and Miller currently under an overall deal there. And Silk Spider Society will debut WM Plus's Epic's linear channel. I'll have to explain that later. Followed by a global launch on Prime Video. The show is based on characters created by Dan Slott and Roberto Ramirez for Marvel Comics. It follows Cindy Moon, wow, described as a Korean-American woman bitten by the same spider that bit Peter Parker as she escapes imprisonment and searches for her missing family on her way to becoming a superhero known as Silk. Let's see if there's anything else relevant in here before we go on. Okay, we can go over some of the details. I'm very familiar with the character. It's a relatively new character. I think it came out in 2014.
Oh, earlier than that, I want to say it was around 2012. It was either
hold on. I'll tell you exactly. Her first cameo appearance was in 2014 in Amazing Spider-Man #1. Her first full appearance was Amazing Spider-Man #4 in July of 2014. So
okay, so it was 2014.
William was right.
Yeah, that was like during that Dan Slott era.
Yeah, I have all of her issues too. She's relatively new. By the way, guys, if you want to jump on and get yourself a collector's issue, those issues are relatively cheap. All right, so I'm going to start with RJ since you are the guest. What do you read into all this?
Well, just to kind of start off, thank you for having me on. What I would say about this whole thing is that it's not too surprising. We've been hearing that this Silk show's been in the works for a while. This was more so about where it was going to land. Personally, I wouldn't care. I would think it was a horrible idea, but the fact that Lord and Miller are producing this and are like the creative heads behind all these Spider-Man shows gives me a lot of confidence. What it says to me personally is that I think it kind of shows this strategy shift for them a little bit to where I feel like going forward, they're going to prioritize making spinoffs of the animated Spider-Verse movies. I don't think this is going to connect to any of the Venom stuff. To me, I think the Silk project being spearheaded by Lord and Miller tells me going forward, they really want to emphasize like the Spider-Verse and like really make some stuff connected to those animated movies. Now, this is still going to be live action, of course, but I do think it's going to connect to the Spider-Verse movies, and you'll probably see that character pop up, probably the same actors voicing them in the animation. But I think it's kind of the smart thing to do. I think really lean into your Spider-Verse animated movies because those are very successful and critically acclaimed. So why not lean into that a little bit and build off that corner of the world instead of trying to do whatever you're doing with the Venom, so it's very disconnected, discombobulated. We don't really know what's going on with that. They're still going to make those movies, of course, but I don't think that they're going to I don't know. We're just kind of in a weird spot with that. So,
what about the decision of Amazon over to Disney Plus? What do you think that means, if anything?
I think it just says to me that there's some rights issues. right now. I think with the Spider-Man TV rights, this is definitely something that came out from an old deal, not any current deal that they're probably working on right now. Because I do think overall, like going forward, maybe in like a few years, I think all this stuff's going to be on Disney Plus eventually. But you know what? I think MGM Plus, which is the new service launching early next year, needs some content. So I think this is good for them. And I think that because it's not going to stay out, because it's going to be on MGM Plus first, then it's going to go to Amazon Prime in the US. Then afterward, it'll probably go to another service. So,
well, yeah, they'll sell it. They'll sell it to.
Basically, that's their plan. They're just going to keep selling it. Like the rights to the stuff is going to keep being sold off in perpetuity. So,
Fade.
It's an interesting move. It has potential though. Regardless of what people think of Amazon Prime because of the Lord of the Rings thing or whatever, I think it has some potential. I do kind of agree with RJ on they'll probably link it to the Spider-Verse stuff they're doing. I don't know how well it's going to link to the MCU so much, but I will disagree with RJ. I will disagree with RJ in one fact. I think they will connect it to the Venom stuff because they're moving towards connecting all of that Spider-Verse tissue together. As for what I feel about Silk, I find her an interesting character. I actually read the early stuff that she was in. I think that the concept of her being bitten by the same spider as Peter, and their attraction to each other because of the pheromones or whatever is an interesting idea.
All right. So what I think about it is I think the decision to go with Amazon over Disney Plus was just I don't think it was as much a money thing as well, as some people may have thought or speculated, as it is the fact that, this is them doing their own thing. And I do personally, I could be wrong because right now it's still all new to all of us. What I'm saying is a guess. I do think it is a move to make a connection to all of their spider stuff that is in their domain. I also think by getting these two individuals, Miller and Lord, that they will eventually put their own Spider-Man in the middle of all of this. And it will be, like I said, the one that they have already won an Academy Award dealing with. And I think that having the guys who worked on that and got that Oscar for that, I think adds credibility to this move. Anything you want to say about Morbius and all the other, whatever, that they've done or going to do, I don't think you can add those same criticisms to these particular creators if they do decide to go in that direction. I think this is them basically separating themselves from what they have going on in Marvel as far as DC goes and doing their own thing and establishing it on a very solid platform with two very solid, proven people who know how to write a Spider-Man story and know how to write Spider-Man characters. So I think I didn't expect it this soon, but I've always said, I've been saying for a couple of years that eventually Sony is going to strike a deal that is in the best interest of them solely and be able to eat their cake as well. They got the Holland thing going on with Disney, but that, with owning over 900 characters, they've found a platform I think is more suitable to the stories that they're going to try to tell with a singular Spider-Man, or any singular Spider-Man connected universe. So I think it's a good business move.
I think that they're trying to expand as best they can because they don't have a streaming service and they want to be on the streaming board in some way. So this was a logical step for them. My only caveat to the Spider-Man thing, though, about putting one at the center of their universe, I just get the sneaking suspicion that they still want Tom Holland to be that Spider-Man in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know how. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I used to think that. I don't think that anymore. In fact, I mean, I used to. I thought that all the way up to No Way Home. And then I'm like, not only for me, it just doesn't make any sense. But once again, you don't need to do that. You don't need to just.
I really don't need to, but I feel like they might try and do it in a way because I don't know. I feel like the Andrew Garfield thing is like rapidly closing up to where I don't think he's going to do it because he doesn't seem to want to work with Sony long term. Because again, it's just I think it's a lack of trust with them a little bit. So I don't know. It's just kind of they're in a really weird spot, which is why I feel like getting Lord and Miller behind this to kind of emphasize the Spider-Verse connection to those animated movies might be the way to go.
You know who's the center of the Spider-Verse for me?
Well, yeah, it's Miles Morales.
And
which
I've
that
always
might be
said,
but I think okay. So here's my opinion on that. I think that it's not going to be Tom Holland Spider-Man so much. I think they're going to fold it into either Andrew Garfield or Toby. And I think that's how we're going to bring about Miles Morales. One of those two is going to sacrifice himself for Miles.
Or mentor him, possibly.
Or mentor him.
See, that would be the smart thing to do, Fade, but I honestly don't think either of those actors are going to play ball with Sony. They'd much rather stick in with their MCU thing. Because I think Toby and Andrew are going to be in Secret Wars, and that's it. They're done after that. They're not doing anything else.
But beyond Secret War, but beyond so Secret Wars opens up a lot of possibility.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm not looking forward to that. I am going to take some Excedrin and probably anything that is going to be a clusterfuck.
Well, that's why there's two movies building up to it too. I mean, you got another Avengers movie.
Yeah, that's why there's two movies building up to it.
Secret Wars is that it's a bunch of action sequences. It's like your favorite toys clashing together. That's why you get like your favorite.
And that's probably going. There's probably going to be some Battle World Disney Plus thing in there too.
We'll see. I don't know. I feel like
all right. So
Plus a little bit though.
I think it with these two individuals involved, however they get to Miles Morales, and it doesn't need to be immediately. When they get to him, I think these are the perfect guys. These are really the only guys I want writing him. I don't want to see him in the shit salad, the MCU right now, because there's just too much going on. And I think
they wouldn't be in the shit salad though. They would just be in like the very end, like they'd be in Secret Wars, and that's it. They would be like,
oh yeah, you're talking about the two older Spider-Man. I'm not.
Yes, the two older Spider-Man. Yes.
What I'm saying though is what I was trying to say about that before I got interrupted earlier though was I think that yes, they will be involved in that, but it's when they're done with Secret Wars, it's gonna slip back to Sony. Okay, so one of them is going to probably be involved in mentoring Miles Morales. It probably won't be Andrew though, because somebody does point out that Andrew doesn't quite trust Sony. So it probably will be the old man Spider, which is Tobey Maguire.
See, but here's the funny thing about Toby though. Toby also only came back because of Kevin Feige as well, and honestly, they don't love Sony. Their last encounters with Sony management, both of them did not go very well. So we're kind of in a weird spot to where I don't know if
you don't need either one of them. To be honest with you,
no, I don't think you do either. You could just say
either one of them, and
it would be better if they could get them, but it's not necessary. No,
it is not necessarily all. They have a hugely, I don't even know if that's a fucking word, a very valuable IP demographically wise with Miles Morales. And they have the people who, like I said, have already proven success. You can't get any higher in the field than an Academy Award at this point. So I think that sets the stage for a universe for him to exist in. And I think it's cool. I've always, and we've been on other stream project where we discussed this. I really think Sony's greedy. And whether it's be to their detriment sometimes.
Oh yeah, also too, they love to leech off the MCU. They love to be like the adjacent black sheep that runs parallel to it in a way too. They like.
But this move goes against all that. This move
does it though? Because think about it.
Yeah, let me explain why. Mm-hmm. I think is there's nothing that Disney or Marvel can bind asset wise or financially wise or exposure wise that they can give them that Amazon, who could literally buy a damn solar system. I don't care how many people they lay off. That every major company does that. Amazon's damn near $1 trillion company. There's really nothing to. It's like a leeching off a small snake and then an elephant coming up, and Amazon's the elephant. There's really nothing that they need, and they have it in both worlds. They have their Tom Holland set for the next 3 movies or whatever. But
well, actually, that's the other thing real quick I was going to mention. The deal was like apparently the contract was signed recently. Supposedly, we're going to hear about it pretty soon. But the rumors that it's actually going to include Disney Plus shows too. So he's going to be a lot more than he was before. So that would be interesting if that's the case.
And so they got that there. But like I said, they have a really huge plate now. They can get both the steak and the veal on it. And I don't see the adjacent thing is no longer, if it ever was, is that it's necessary. You have everything you need within the one deal to go forward with that branch right there. I mean, you already have your commercial for this, literally with the 2 movies that'll be released. Because this will happen after what Beyond the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse happens. That comes out next year?
Yep.
Part 1, part 2. So you're gonna have everything that you need. You don't need to be adjacent to anybody. You're literally you have Into the Spider-Verse, and you have the 2 subsequent movies that are going to come after it. And by that time, you'll be ready to introduce him into this Amazon thing. I don't think you need to be adjacent to anybody. And it's not about the quality of writers, because like I said, you can poke shots at Morbius and Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2. You can't poke
Venom 2.
Venom 2, yeah. Even though they destroyed that movie to get to an end credit scene. But you can have a lot of criticisms towards a lot of all that other stuff. But these 2 guys are I don't think you can assail them with the same criticisms. And if you were to go forward with Miles Morales with this universe that they're building, you can't really dispute their success at it or their ability to do it. In my opinion, that's just me.
Well, what I would say, because I think your points are valid, but I think the issue is right now, not really an issue, but I think what Sony recognizes is, William, let's take a really hard look at what Marvel's doing. It's called the Multiverse Saga. All these it's leading to a big multiversal event, right? Yeah. What's Sony doing right now? Sony has the Spider-Verse, which is multiverse. Plus 2, they're getting ready to release Madam Web, which is a multiverse movie. It's about a character who is a multiverse character who sees into the Spider-Verse. So at the same time Marvel's doing their multiverse saga, they're introducing their multiverse shenanigans as well. And I think that's directly meant to parallel what's going on over there. So general audiences can kind of see that connection a little bit. So it's not a direct parallel, it's not but they're trying to be adjacent to that, to where it all kind of fits at the same time, because they're both doing this at the same time. But Madam Web is a multiverse movie that's going to set the stage for everything else for their little corner. So,
but they already did the multiversal thing by even introducing Miles Morales, because you had a bunch of spider people in there. So
no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. They got the ball rolling, but at the same time but not in live action though. Madam Web's their live action multiverse movie that I think is, and plus 2, with the incursion thing in Doctor Strange 2 they mentioned, we're seeing an incursion happen right now with Michael Keaton jumping over to Morbius. That's a direct MCU Spider-Man character jumping into their world. And they're that's connected as well.
Yeah, but those were partnered movies. I understand what you're saying. But
I know the partner movies, but I'm just saying that for the general audience, again, that guy was in the Spider-Man movie where he existed in the world of the Avengers. Now he's in this world, right? So they're forever linked that way too, if you think about it.
Well, they're forever linked because they're both dealing with Spider-Man. But I think that I just think, like I said, it's a chance, because it took, for me personally, it took too long to get to where I wanted Tom Holland Spider-Man to be, and we finally got that at the tail end of No Way Home. I'm actually looking forward to seeing. Whereas before, I was like, "Oh wow,
Spider-Man, well, especially
a tiny crumb on the big Marvel mosaic. Okay, great. Maybe I'll get a Spider-Man movie someday." And now, after the last one, we're the very next Spider-Man movie might be the best Tom Holland.
Especially because we're hearing right now they're making that Spider-Man cartoon that's meant to apparently
freshman year. That is, if it survives.
Well, yeah, but the intention is that what the rumor is that Spider-Man 4 is going to be very ground level and more gritty. It's going to be about Spider-Man fighting Kingpin with Daredevil and that kind of stuff, that kind of ground level stuff.
Yeah, but I've also heard that. I've also heard that freshman year. I've also heard that freshman year show is a multiverse show anyway.
Well, it is, but it's showing kind of. It's showing an alternative history. So it's
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We're getting a bunch of multiverse stuff, right? So,
But see, now, what, like I said, my hopes, if they do introduce Miles Morales, is that they bring it, no matter who's doing him. I would assume, why would Sony give away 25% of their money to anybody? But that's just me and my math. But whoever is doing them, that he is brought in the same position that we left Tom Holland Spider-Man in No Way Home. Please don't make him an errand boy. That made me, don't do that. I think it takes away the value of his character and his journey if they were to do that. I think it hurt, even though a lot of new generation people only know Spider-Man as an Avenger. His majority, the other 90% of Spider-Man's journey is as a solo character. With a,
which is what it looks like they're going to try to do with Tom Holland going forward.
well,
because they've talked about
take 8 years with Miles Morales to get there. You know what I mean?
They've talked about moving the next 3 movies that he does to more of a solo sort of thing. That's why they erased him. Peter Parker anyway, in Multiverse of Madness. Sorry, No Way Home.
Yeah, I mean
because he's going to be Tom Holland Spider-Man's going to be walking his own path for a while.
Well, kinda before he pops up in Secret Wars, because for a fact they're not missing out on having him in there.
Well, no, of course not. But still, we're looking at how many years till Secret Wars?
3, 4.
3, 4.
By that time,
on the outside,
he will have walked up along a solitary path, to get to that point. Instead of
it's only going to be one movie.
Avengers
They're only going to fit one Spider-Man movie before Secret Wars.
Yeah, but they could also fit a TV series in there too. You're not thinking about the other projects for Disney Plus. I'm telling you, there's stuff that has not been announced, especially for Phase 6. So you have to leave a little bit of open interpretation for things that could be coming there, whether animation or live action. And if you think that they're going to avoid sticking Tom Holland in something Disney Plus, you're crazy.
No, of course, if they strike a deal that allows it, absolutely. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Spider-Man in the Daredevil show. Like, that's a very
most likely. That was already hinted at No Way Home.
Yeah.
All right, let me go read some of the chat stuff real quick because I've been kind of ignoring them. Hey, Chappie, nice to see you again. It's interesting what Sony has done with the Spider-Man franchise. Yeah, and to be honest with you, still to this day, the best Spider-Man movies have come from Sony, in my opinion. Spider-Man 2 is one of the great superhero sequels of all time, and Into the Spider-Verse is, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man movie. Everything else is behind that. And like I said, none of their movies, no one had to clip coupons after any of the live action Spider-Man movies. You may have different varying opinions about their quality, but no live action Spider-Man movie that I know of made less than $700 million. And if you adjust those dollars, you're in a good spot there too. Let's see.
Another point I want to make real quick.
How you doing, Superboy?
Is we may still get Miles Morales in the regular MCU.
That would make me throw up all over this.
There's precedent there though, because his uncle was in what was it? Homecoming?
Yeah, it was Homecoming, yeah.
So and that thread was left years ago. So they may pull that thread. I mean, you may not get him being a Spider-Man, but he might be introduced.
If I'm Amazon and Sony, I'd say fuck no on that. If I'm Amazon or Sony.
Yeah, but the thing is they already agreed to it to begin with. They already agreed to it to begin with. They put the uncle in that movie.
Sony and Amazon do not have to hear to jack on that.
I guarantee you, no joke, that they whenever they signed the deal for Tom Holland and they're working out the story of what the MCU arc is going to be for the next trilogy, I guarantee you there was blood spilled and arguments over, do we get to use Miles Morales in the MCU? I guarantee you there was. Now, who wins that fight? I don't know. But I still think the chance exists that Miles will be in that next trilogy for the MCU. I think he could be in both. Which would be interesting, but I think there's a chance he could be in both.
Anything can happen. Elon Musk bought Twitter, and now we're going through that disaster. So anything in the world can happen. Now,
Guys, Twitter's not going anywhere. Stop
it's
it.
not going anywhere, but it's not going to get any. It's could continue to be worthless. But hey, when you go to dollars and cents and leverage and percentages of money, when you think about it in that term, it just doesn't make any sense for them, especially bringing in the two individuals who have written him before, and I don't think would have any issues writing him in that universe. It just doesn't make any business sense to hand him over to someone else, and you got to give up a percentage of your cash to that person. If I'm Amazon, no. If I'm Sony at this point with Amazon, no. I just say no. I mean, like I said, there's got to be an accountant in the room that says, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, because Miles Morales, no matter where he's at, if he's written competently, and like I said, you've got an Academy Award winning people handling it who have handled him before, can make money anywhere he's at. He doesn't need to be
that's the thing, right? I mean, we're not flies in the wall, but I would imagine
we're not even anywhere clear. We're not even on the
right. But I would imagine if they were to get Miles secured for the MCU, Disney would have to give up probably a little bit of something, either like some TV rights thing or more merchandise sales. Sony gets a part of something.
I honestly think going forward, you're going to find especially if they want to continue keeping this Spider-Man connection in the MCU, I think you're going to find that they may give some leeway to Sony when it comes to Disney Plus shows.
It's possible, but I'm looking at it this way. So, say,
William, what is it you always say? If there's money to be made, there's money to be made.
I'm about to hit right on that. I'm gonna ask RJ this first. So, how much money do you think a solo non-MCU affiliated with these guys doing it? Money that could a Miles Morales Spider-Man movie make? Just throw out a number to me.
Well, okay, I'll say this. If it has a Peter Parker played by either Toby or Andrew, I would say about anywhere from 700 million to 900 million. If it doesn't, I would say about 600 million. 600 to 700 million for a Miles Morales movie.
Okay, for me, I'm going to go with or without those guys in it, because I think there are factors in there that are going to make this a very unique situation. One of them being, like I was talking with when we were talking about Black Panther the other day about recasting Chadwick Boseman, because we can count on how many fingers guys who look like me have as mainline superheroes, and I think the support will be there for that. I think, of course, yeah. So I'm thinking around 750 max, right? Now, 100% of 750 is still some good cheddar. Even if you made more than that, you're giving what? Now, somebody told me 25% to Disney if you do it through them.
It's about, last time I checked, like, because it's gone up across the trilogy. I think originally it was like less. It was like 10.
Yeah, it was 10 to 13. Now it's
it's gone up. I think recently, with No Way Home, it was about 20 to 25, so around there.
So if I am Sony and Amazon, and because the marketing is paid by Sony and Amazon, they handle the marketing campaign. Why am I giving any? If I'm a stockholder too, why am I giving any of our money to anybody else? Well, we've proven that every live action Spider-Man we've had, like I said, quality, you can argue about the quality, but with this particular unique character with a unique circumstances, why would you be giving my stockholder money away to anybody when you can keep all the money in house, especially since you're going to be the one promoting it? You're going to be the one paying for the ad deal, paying for all that. It's your legacy character, which you do not have to leverage anything. Like right now, they have Tom Holland is leveraged on both ways. He can be torn apart with the leverage that with these deals are. Well, you have an unleveraged character that is yours, and all the money is yours.
It goes back to what we've talked about though when it came to the whole Venom thing too, way back when Let There Be Carnage came out. I think when they're looking at this, they realize the MCU is the number one franchise and brand in the business. There's nothing else like it. We have our marquee character there. We play ball with them. That audience and that goodwill trickles down to our other projects. So therefore, we're emboldening our other stuff. So we're going to make a bunch of money on the MCU movies whatever money we don't make because of that percentage cut, we're going to make back in tenfold with the success of our other stuff.
That's a gamble. I'm sorry. That's a gamble.
It's a gamble, but I think it's worked out for them so far. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, the results speak for themselves.
But the results of Miles Morales are not results we can compare to anything else. We have one of a handful of characters of color with a broad demographic of being both Latino and Black, who's already proven popular. He outsells Spider-Man stuff. A cartoon drawing as much as that did, that they didn't really promote as much as they did. With 2 sequels going out, you've already invested and done your own branding. Nothing about the branding that you've had with Miles Morales has anything to do with Marvel. You've done the work. I'm not giving any of my cash away, and I'm not giving any of my leverage away, especially, like I said, be greedy. You got a big plate. You don't have to share shit with anybody anymore. You're sharing Holland, but you do not have to share. Why am I giving that money away when I got 2 guys that can make a quality story, and he's going to make the money? I don't think they need Disney to make the type of money that he will eventually go into, simply because those factors. If it were just another Peter Parker, maybe, but like I said, there are unique qualities and circumstances.
Hold on though. You could argue though that they never made billion-dollar Spider-Man movies before the MCU connection. That's kind of emboldened what it already was.
Once again, if you're developing Miles Morales, I think you will eventually get to that. But on your way there, that all the leverage is theirs, all the money is theirs. I mean, it's their brand. And if I'm Amazon and I just signed into this, you're giving leverage to who? You're giving percentage to who for what? No, I don't.
Well, remember though, we talked about this though too. Though Sony isn't staying loyal to any number of streaming service. They're going to shop stuff around. So Amazon may be on the board with these specific series, but they could easily, after the Amazon rights expire for we don't know how long, but they could easily go to another streaming service.
That's an X factor.
That's what's going on with Netflix. Their movies are going to Netflix right now first, but then they're going to go to Disney. So
I can't imagine Amazon doing something like that to where they would leave them.
Well, they already are though, because like I said earlier, they're going to MGM Plus first, then Amazon. So Amazon's not getting these shows
first. Where's
first.
MGM Plus's territories though?
It's going to be US. US is MGM Plus.
No, US is Amazon Prime.
Nope. I thought so too, but I reread the Deadline article.
Is MGM Plus even a streaming service we can get here?
Not until early 2023. It'll be one of the first shows to launch with the service, apparently.
Well, okay, RJ, why would it say it's going to Amazon Prime if it's going to MGM Plus first?
Amazon Prime is going to be for the worldwide audience, not for US. It won't hit Amazon Prime US until after a certain number of years.
Okay,
on MGM Plus.
William, can you go back to that article so we can see where it says that?
I got rid of it, but hold on. By the way, this is all new for people in the chat, so we're not just stumbling over ourselves. This is like what, this morning?
Yeah, this is this morning. But here, I'll pull it up real quick because I have the article here already.
I got it too.
Okay.
All right. Let's. Yeah, I thought the MGM stuff was
because this is a quote from the Deadline article. This deal is a culmination of a very complex web of rights that meant the series will have to debut first on a linear network, in this case MGM Plus, which is set to be relaunched with its new name in January of 2023.
Okay, it says relaunch. What is it being launched off of?
So originally it was Epix Plus. It's being rebranded to MGM
Okay, so
Plus
Epix is already part of Amazon Prime.
Well, no, this is a separate service though.
No, what I'm saying is if it's getting launched off of Epix is already part of Amazon Prime.
Right, but in terms of like the Epix thing here, it's not going to be on Amazon Prime though. They're separating it, I guess.
I don't see how they're separating it. If Epix is getting switched to MGM Prime,
availability,
it will still be available to subscribe to off of Amazon Prime here in America because it already is.
Yeah. Well,
so initially it's going to fall under the realm of Amazon Prime anyway. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, we'll get to those details. Like I said, it's still all new, guys. It's still very new.
No, but Yeah, so real quick, it says so MGM Plus will have the first window in the US.
Can we
The
see that? I would like to see that in the article. Where's the article?
Well, yeah, I have to share my screen.
He can't share it. He's not on my. He's on.
Oh,
He
okay.
can't do it on.
That's why I'm trying to get William to bring up the article, RJ.
He's reading from a different article. I read from Variety. He's reading from Deadline. Did you put it in chat?
Yeah, hold on. I will do that.
Yeah, put it in the private chat and I'll bring it up.
Not trying to question you, RJ, but I want to see it off of the article.
Mm.
Amazon doing Spider-Man going to screw it up? I don't know. Fourth, they didn't screw up the Spider-Verse movie. They didn't screw up Spider-Man, the original one. They didn't screw up. I mean, they're dealing with Sony. I mean, Amazon is not, the producers are all people that work from Sony. So I think I got it, RJ. I think we're fine. Let me go ahead and get rid of this.
Yeah, it's like the third something paragraph.
Hold on. This is why I need a producer. Deadlines, sure. Now I have to go through the extra stupid step and do this. All right, there we go. All right, so where am I going?
It's the third paragraph right there. Scroll back up.
Scrub it. It's
Right there. It's
right
the third
there.
paragraph.
That third paragraph.
All right, a slew of Marvel characters are heading to small screen MGM Plus. The linear network, formerly known as Epix, and Amazon Prime Video ordered a suite of live action series from Sony Pictures Television. Spider-Man spinoff series of Silk Spider Society, which has, am I reading any deeper than this? Or, okay, at the bottom here. The deal is a culmination of complex web rights that, see what they did there. That meant the series will have to debut first on a linear network, in this case, MGM Plus, which is set to be relaunched under its new name in January. MGM Plus will have the first window in the U.S.
Yeah. So it's only going to be on this new app on the US at first.
And
okay,
again,
we'll be able to get it.
There's going to be a back door. There's going to be a back door through Epix into Amazon Prime is the point I'm trying to make here. Because there already is a back door for Epix into Amazon Prime. I know because it's part of the subscription for Amazon Prime I have.
To me, that it's going to be available on both. It just has to be.
Yeah.
RJ, I think it has to be. It has to go through MGM Plus, but it's also without MGM Plus, they wouldn't be able to do it because of the deal you're talking about. From what I'm reading,
right? Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to have an option on either one.
That's what I was going to say. Because of the rights issue with the TV rights, it has to debut on a linear cable network first, which I guess MGM Plus somehow qualifies for. Then it can go to Amazon. So that's kind of like
I see happening like within hours of each other because of the way they're broken up. So, all right. So I think let me go back to the chat real quick because I have to do a better job of not ignoring these poor guys in here. Let's see. All right, Tony Chappie, thoughts. Producers Avi Rod and Matt Tomax. I hope I'm spelling it. Especially what they've done with the Spider-Man franchise. As long, I mean, does it really? I think it's going to be Pascal.
Avi Rod is like a very out of touch old man who needs to step away. That's my thought.
What about Pascal? Won't she? She's executive.
Pascal works exclusively with the Marvel side of things.
Yeah,
but didn't she engineer this deal or help engineer this deal?
She did.
She did help engineer this deal.
Yeah, she engineered the deal, and she was the one basically who gets to run Spider-Man with Marvel now.
Yeah, that's a cool. Hey, you're getting fired, but here's a real cool deal you work out on your way down. I got to hand it to her. She deserved to be fired, but she got a sweetheart deal on her way out. Personally, I think Miles will be at the MCU. His uncles exist. To me, that just.
If you read the under comment to that is true though. There was a deleted scene from Homecoming where Donald Glover was on the phone with Miles.
Okay, but if I'm Sony and Amazon going forward, why am I beholden to that? We never had him. I don't see any reason for that.
I'm just saying the threat is. I'm just saying the threat is there.
Yeah, they could. Yes, like I said, anything can happen. This is all conjecture, by the way. My question is why? To me, all logic leads back to why. I mean, I don't see enough. I mean, I differ with you guys. I don't see enough why there, especially when you're talking about the potential for having this branded on your thing and not having to be involved necessarily unless you want to. But whatever is going on, you may love what Kevin Feige or whoever he is in his place, because I don't think he's going to be there forever. Whoever's running that neck of the woods, that's great. But at some point in time, I've been saying this for 3 years, you're going to start getting, writers and producers and creators are going to want to do some superhero stuff, maybe with some Marvel stuff that's not necessarily connected to that giant salad. No matter what you think of that salad, it is constrictive. And maybe, you have people, maybe some Academy Award winners, aforementioned, that might want to handle the character in their own way. I mean, since they own the character, they own the rights to the character. I mean, to me, like I said, all this could happen. Roger, you could end up being 100% right. Right now, I just don't see a why, other than everybody sees the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And like I said, it's that refrigerator full of shit that doesn't go together, that everybody wants to make a salad of it and throw it in there just because it's there and it's available to you. That makes for a shitty salad sometimes. Sometimes you got to toss out some of those ingredients and refine your salad so that it tastes good. And some of those pieces would do well in another meal. I'm hungry. I'm using food as a metaphor or a euphemism, but
I can definitely tell you're hungry, William.
I don't see the why, unless you had. If I'm an Academy Award winning producer or writer director, as these guys are, my ego is going to tell me I can do this. I don't need anybody else. And why did you hire me to dive into this if you don't think I can? That's what I'm thinking, and it's money and it's ego. I'm not listen, I'm a cheap ass. All right. If I'm cultivating this character, I've done all the previous stuff with this character, I'm not giving you shit. Sorry. I did the work, and all the work with Miles Morales has been done by them. It's also kind of a slap in the face to say that somebody else of equal talent of any other studio could come along and turn something into a pretty decent franchise. Does everything need to be $1 billion franchise? No, not every MCU film is a $1 billion franchise, and some that are Captain Marvel didn't deserve
Marvel.
So you can't really base it. You can't.
Well,
really
yeah,
base
but you have to remember
success on
too.
that.
You have to remember too where you were in 2014 following Amazing Spider-Man 2, where that movie was just so bad and killed all enthusiasm for that brand and that character and that franchise that you needed something radical like another studio to come in and really shake things up and like revitalize that character. That's how bad things were back then.
That's an argument. I agree. That's an argument you could make 8 years ago. I don't think it's an argument you need to make now. They haven't that Miles Morales doesn't have that history. He doesn't have that blemish history. And the people who have brought him to that success and brought him, to the forefront of the general public knows him are the people that are involved here. Like I said, could happen. My question is why? Why would you do that? We're not in 2014. The situation is not 2014. I understand that you can make the argument then for that, but not now. I don't think there's a business argument to be made. That's just me. But that's why I have guests.
Well, like I said, I think in about a couple of weeks or so, I think by the end of the year, we'll hear about Tom Holland's new contract, and then we'll get a clear idea about what the new terms are for this deal between Sony and Marvel. And that'll be very interesting, I feel like. That'll be kind of get to see where things stand right now. So,
well, I think I actually think it puts both of those guys in a better negotiating spot because they can do whatever they want or need with that Spider-Man. Tom Holland is young enough. You still got another good trilogy with him and other stuff that you could sign on to. They can go whatever direction that they want to go with Tom Holland, but that doesn't exclude a group or highly intelligent or highly talented individuals from taking a Spider-Man in their own direction because their storyline may not have anything to do with the salad that is coming up in Marvel. Not every high-end director or screenplay or producer wants to, be the junior chef in someone else's kitchen. The potential to take a character in a different direction is very appealing. It's almost as appealing as money, and they have the opportunity to do that and do what they want. Because I'm finally looking forward to Tom Holland Spider-Man instead of being slightly annoyed about it, knowing that guy could be that top level Spider-Man. I actually get to see that Spider-Man. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with him there. But I'm also looking forward to seeing a solitary, universe that Miles Morales has thrived in up to this point, both on paper and in the movies that he's had and coming. I mean, that formula works with him, and he hasn't needed anything else to propagate that formula. So my question goes back to, like I said, maybe they'll have an answer for this. Why? When you can have the best of both worlds and you're Sony and you're greedy, you can cash in on Holland for another 3 years. He's not even 30 yet. I think he's 26. You got a long time with Holland and on all those formats. But if you're Sony and you've been as greedy as Sony did, enough to where they cannibalize Venom 2 just to get to an end credit scene, you can make unattached money from another Spider-Man that is completely different in demographic and scope. I mean, take both bags of money. Don't be giving money away to anybody. Fuck that. This is how I feel. All right, let me get to some of this one because that topic was. We'll probably go over this too on the
Overnight show.
The overnight show because we can go into depth because like I said,
I'll have more. I'll have more to say on the overnight show about it because I'll look more in depth on it.
Yeah, and like I said, Jay, this is like I woke up to this. I think RJ, you're linked to this.
This article. This article dropped this morning, so I had time to kind of process it a little bit more.
Well, I had a really bad day before yesterday, and I haven't really been paying attention to the news. So I had really bad day of anxiety attacks day before yesterday. So I've been kind of out of it.
Sorry to hear that.
Allergies have done
it happens. So. It happens. It's just I've got to deal with, like, after a day of bad anxiety attacks, I've got to deal with the anxiety attack hangover the next couple of days afterwards. So,
damn, that's deep. A hangover from an anxiety attack, which is bad enough. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, Chappie, do you guys think it's possible that we get an Amazing Spider-Man 3, especially now that Spider-Man No Way Home, recent Amazing Spider-Man movies? I think they deserve to get a trilogy. I don't think so at this point because I don't think it's necessary to tie up that end as it was before. It sounded cool for me. You know, when Spider-Man No Way Home ended, like when you walked out of the theater, RJ, it sounded, a good possibility. With this development, I say you clear the brush and let, if you are going to put a Spider-Man in there, it needs to be Miles Morales because it is a different form of Spider-Man, and you can actually, I think both Marvel and Sony could benefit without necessarily picking each other's pockets, because if you stagger the releases, there's a lot of people who don't go to, like, people of color that don't go to these superhero movies. A lot of it has to do with representation. But if they get into the doorway through Miles, I'm pretty sure they're going to give all the other stuff a chance. Just like a lot of people who when we did Black Panther, a lot of these guys we brought with us when they did the original Black Panther, they just weren't going to see Marvel movies or DC movies. A lot of them just didn't, feel like they were part of that party, rightly or wrongly. But that's the way it is. Now, because of Black Panther, I got guys and people and groups of people I know that have given all kinds of other superhero movies a chance. So I think that with Morales, it's uniquely placed. You really can't compare it to any of the successes or failures that either of these companies have had, because there's just too many factors in there that are unique. So it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, as far as Spider-Man, you know what? I wish he would have got his trilogy, but I think with Spider-Man No Way Home, it covers a lot of wounds. He got to go out on one of the most kick-ass when he catches Zendaya, when he catches MJ. You remember the reaction in the theater, RJ, when that happened?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That to me was like, I mean, if I get a third one from Andrew Garfield, great. But if I don't, that was so cool. That everything about that movie was so cool. That is the best Phase 4 movie, by the way. Sorry, Black Panther. No, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a really, really, really good movie, but it wasn't on the level of Black Panther the original for reasons we spoke about in our other review. But once I realized via RJ that that is a Phase 4 movie, No Way Home, then that was the best Phase 4 movie, and it's actually one of their best movies that they put out. So I really enjoyed that, and it left me in a spot to where I can enjoy that Spider-Man now. But like I said, I think what Sony's doing is interesting. It's interesting at the very least. I mean, it's definitely okay. Like I said, and by the way, guys, when you guys say this stuff, Andrew doesn't trust Sony, or people don't like this person, or people won't work with that. Listen, when you hear this cash register that's under me, when you hear it clicking and coming out, that's what matters.
All right. Yeah, of course. But I mean, if
there's business to be done, business will get done. cash and leverage and guarantees earn you trust. All right. There are people who have been married and divorced that find a way to work in movies and produce projects together.
Yep.
Liking somebody, that doesn't matter. This isn't the sandbox where if you break my transformer and I beat your ass and storm off. No, that's okay when we're 9 years old and 12-year-olds maybe. But when we're grown ass people making millions and there's a career decision, if there was a career decision on the line and Andrew Garfield could come back and not only make some good money, but have a lasting legacy and a trilogy like that, I think he would do it. You know, you negotiate the trust issues away. All right. This isn't one YouTuber not trusting another or me on Twitter not liking RJ or some shit like that. We're talking money. We're talking professional level stuff. And if there's something I didn't trust about RJ, you know, he did a stripper thing with you know, somebody come get her. And I'm like, that guy's kind of shady. Guess what? I negotiated into my contract that anything RJ scared me about, you know, I negotiate around that. So no, don't worry about that. That would not stop anybody. Just like they said, James Gunn also wouldn't. James Gunn wouldn't work with what was it, Jared Leto or something like that. I'm like, no. All right, that is kid shit. If the money gets laid down and there's a high value role that you're needed for and that you can accept that could make your career or possibly get you, you know, put you in a better negotiating position for your next, you're going to do it. I don't care whether you like that guy or not. Now, if it's Harvey Weinstein type material, different. Aside. But the petty shit that people think that is going to stop an actor or a director or a producer or a filmmaker from working with another one, that shit doesn't exist with grown people. Not to that level. Like I said, if there's other stuff like, you know, inappropriate contact, things like that, yeah, that's a deal breaker. Like Kevin Spacey type shit, you know, things like that. You know what I mean? To where it's like, you know, it has to reach a certain level. But petty shit like that, trust me. If I don't trust you to pay me $2,000, you guess what I negotiate? I want my $2,000 up front. You know what I mean? You negotiate trust issues out of the game. So I don't think that would be an issue.
Time will tell. I think that's the big thing. I think
everything. And like I said, I would love to be in on all these conversations. That's the thing that sucks is that, you know, you just don't know. You just don't know until you know, and that's actually kind of cool now. To be honest with you, I'm enjoying being surprised by stuff. I'm enjoying just waking up to news and not somebody's whatever about, you know, the news, you know. All right. Did Andrew say I don't trust him? Like I said, in fourth, even if he says I don't trust Tony, while Sony is putting cash in his hands, 12 seconds later, he could be like, I trust Sony now. It's things change, man. Things change. And like I said, we're talking millions of dollars in legacies on the you know what? And here's the thing about that is, as it stands now, I once again, something's missing here with that. Something's missing here with that. And one of these days, I'm going to find out what the hell it is. And it might not make it better, but it'll make it more sense with that whole end credit scene. I think there's some long form thinking there, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to even do it. But like I said, I mean, you may not like the quality of some of the stuff that Sony has. They don't have, you know, they don't have the short bus kids running things there. It's still a multi-billion-dollar studio. Thoughts on producer? Okay, we already did that one, right? Cool. All right. Personally, I think Miles would be an MC. Okay, yeah. Dude, I got to get something better to organize these. Forget Spider-Man. Where's Aunt May solo film? Home Alone. Yeah, you know what? Now that she another Oscar winner, you know, now that they made Aunt May a MILF, because instead of being an old lady, you know, she's in her 50s now.
Yeah. Hey, William, what time is your commercial? What time is your commercial?
They're actually here right now. I got about another 5 minutes before you got to all right. Up. I just make sure that we get
well, it's just Stella's keeping our countdown. She's trying to remind you.
Thank you, Stella. I just want to make sure. Of course, Anthony, you always disagree. You stopped using the word trash for everything, though. You've moved up, Anthony. How you doing, Draga? I just want to make sure I get to at least enough people to where they don't think I ignored them. H. Barch played his cards. Henry played his cards. Potentially, WB is keeping him. Told you it was built into the existing contracts that Superman calls Henry to go. Oh, by the way, and this is what I meant. I'll get into the wrestling. I might even do a stream later on tonight after I get done with this one. The Henry Cavill stuff that you brought up, RJ. I'm just going to bring it up briefly.
Mhm.
Why did we bring up Henry Cavill if we're talking about Spider-Man?
Well, that was just if you read the description, it's much more would entitle because I was going to get some wrestling in here, but because somebody mentioned it in the chat right here. See, because I'm trying to be a good host, Dave. Yeah.
Well, that's just my question in general. Why are we talking about Henry when we got Spider?
No, we weren't going
Because
to.
anything can happen. It's wild.
It came up.
That's usually our overnight show. This show is usually more structured, so that's why I
but I
asked.
got RJ here right now. I may not have him. He can't stay up past his bedtime, and I'll so that
I'm
overnight show.
trying
Yeah,
to. I'm marathoning Doctor Who. I'm sorry.
at least it's better than marathoning Breaking Bad because that turns you.
Which doctor? Which doctor?
I'm on David Tennant right now.
Okay, you're at a good era. Okay, cool.
You're headed towards the best doctor, which is the 11th Doctor. So you're on a good road. But
yeah, see, William here is stuck on Matt Smith's doctor.
The greatest doctor, best story.
No, sir. The greatest doctor is the 4th Doctor. And I will hear no dispersal on that.
Disappear in a long time. I'm just kidding. But no, the Henry Cavill thing. I think that Henry Cavill is signed and delivered. I think that when we hit stuff, we get news from people. I think it's months after the stuff has happened. I really think. But like I said, I love James Gunn.
I only want to hear it. Like I said, like you said earlier, it's if it comes from James Gunn, then we'll see.
And what he's doing now, as far as his interaction with people, is what DC has needed like the last 10 years.
Oh, I agree. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Just coming in and saying no. All right, guys. Thank you for everybody who contributed in the chat. Thank you, RJ, for being here. Thank you, Dave, for cutting through and making it through all the issues to get here. And thank you, Stella, for giving me my timekeeper warning. And like I said, anybody, if you have anything in addition to what we've covered here, or if I didn't get to your question, put it in the comment section. I've been trying to do my best to answer you guys' comments or things like that, or you can message me or things like that. But yeah, this was a short show because I really got to go shoot this commercial. I will actually air it on our streams. You'll see how silly it is. It involves Santa Claus and blood. It involves Santa Claus in all 3Ds. I'll just leave it at that. But given the movie we're promoting, it is fitting. So, all right, thank you everybody for showing up, and let me do my outro, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. with Thade, Stella, and whoever.
9:30 p.m. Not a.m. You said a.m.
No, we do nothing in the a.m.
We do nothing in the a.m.
Nothing happens in the okay. Nothing begins in the a.m. Okay,
there you go.
AM, it ain't starting. So okay, all right, guys, thanks a lot.